Sunshine on my face, my friend. Feel the rhythm in my feet. Every moment is so sweet. Colors bright and
All right. So this stack of resources that you sent over about building financial resilience, it seems like, these days everyone's talking about surviving a recession, but these guides kind of go beyond, I don't know, just getting by. They're all about like creating this financial shield to help you thrive no matter what the economy throws at you. Sounds pretty awesome,
It
right?
really is.
It
An
is.
interesting concept, yeah. It's not just about having a ton of money stashed away, but it's more about having like a system in place, almost, I don't know, a fortress that protects you from, those unexpected financial blows.
I like that. A financial fortress. So it's not just about the money itself, but it's about having the right strategies and mindset in place. What I'm seeing in these sources is that building a solid emergency fund is like the first line of defense in this financial shield. It's like laying the foundation, right?
Exactly. And what's interesting is that these sources go beyond just the basic, 3 to 6 months of expenses advice. They kind of delve into some specific tactics, like the idea of micro savings.
Micro savings. I haven't heard of that before.
Yeah, so it's all about automating like tiny, consistent savings. We're talking like $5 or $10 a day, the kind of money you might spend without even thinking about it. And you'd be surprised how quickly those small amounts can add up, especially if they're automatically tucked away.
That's a sneaky but smart approach. I'm definitely guilty of those little impulse purchases that just like drain my account. So this sounds like a way to combat that bad habit.
Absolutely. It's about building that muscle memory for saving, even if it's just in tiny increments.
Yeah.
Now, beyond the basic emergency fund, some sources also talk about having a dedicated side hustle emergency fund.
Hold on. A separate emergency fund just for your side hustle? Why is that necessary?
Well, think about it. If your side hustle is like a major part of your income diversification strategy, it needs its own protection too, right? What if like your website crashes or your equipment breaks or you suddenly need to invest in like marketing? Having a dedicated fund for those unexpected costs can help keep your side hustle afloat, especially during, a downturn.
That's a great point. I never thought about it that way. It makes sense to protect all of your income streams, not just, your main job. Speaking of side hustles, these sources are like packed with creative ways to diversify your income. It's not just about driving for a ride-sharing app anymore.
Oh, absolutely not. One fascinating trend I noticed is the rise of like micro businesses. People are leveraging, their existing skills and passions to create unique, often, online-based businesses.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Okay, well, one guide highlights this woman who turned her passion for knitting into a successful online shop selling handmade scarves and hats. Yeah. And then another one talks about this guy who created a popular YouTube channel teaching people how to repair like vintage electronics.
See, that's what I love about this whole idea of side hustles. It's not just about like the extra income. It's about, finding creative outlets and potentially turning your passion into a viable business.
Exactly. It's about creating multiple streams of income, which can be crucial for weathering those financial storms.
Yeah.
And of course, passive income through investments is another big piece of that diversification puzzle.
Okay, passive income. It sounds like a dream, but I also know it comes with risks. These sources seem to be pretty cautious about, diving into investments during like a shaky economy.
Correctly so. But that doesn't mean you should completely avoid investing, right? One source suggests exploring defensive investments during a downturn. These are typically investments that are considered more stable and less likely to be affected by market volatility.
Defensive investments, huh? What are some examples of those?
Well, think consumer staples companies like healthcare providers, utility companies. These are businesses that provide essential goods and services that people need regardless of the economic climate.
So even if the market is turbulent, people still need their like toothpaste and electricity. Right.
Exactly. These companies tend to have more consistent earnings and dividends, which can provide, a sense of stability in an uncertain market. But as with any investment, it's crucial to, do your research and understand the risks involved.
So it's about choosing your battles wisely, even in the investment world. Now, while we're talking about potential risks, I think it's time to address the elephant in the room: debt. It's definitely not the most glamorous topic, but these sources are pretty adamant that reducing debt is a key part of building that financial shield.
Absolutely. One of the most insightful points I came across is the concept of debt sensitivity. It's not just about the amount of debt you have, but how vulnerable that debt makes you during a downturn.
Debt sensitivity. Can you unpack that a little?
Yeah, so it's about analyzing how your debt would be impacted by different economic scenarios. For example, if you have a variable rate loan, like how would a rise in interest rates affect your monthly payments? Or if you rely heavily on credit cards, how would a job loss impact your ability to keep up with, those high interest payments?
That's a great point. It's not just about the debt itself, but about how that debt could potentially amplify the impact of a financial shock. So it's about, assessing your vulnerabilities and taking steps to mitigate them, right?
Precisely. One strategy I found particularly compelling is the idea of debt prioritization, going beyond just paying the minimums and creating a strategic plan to tackle your debts in a way that, minimizes your risk.
Okay, debt prioritization. Walk me through that. What does that look like in practice?
Well, it's about taking a close look at all of your debts, considering factors like, interest rates, balances, and payment terms. From there, you can create a plan to strategically target certain debts first, whether it's, the high interest ones or the smaller balances that you can knock out quickly for a psychological boost.
So it's about being strategic and proactive, not just letting your debt control you. I'm liking this take charge theme that's emerging.
It's all about taking control of your finances and building that financial shield brick by brick. It's empowering, isn't it, to realize that even in the face of, economic uncertainty, you have the power to build a financial fortress around yourself.
Absolutely. And speaking of building that fortress, one theme that keeps popping up in these sources is the importance of smart spending. It's not about deprivation, but about, making conscious choices that align with your values and financial goals.
Yeah. One concept I found particularly insightful is what one author calls leaning out your budget. It's not about drastic cuts or living on rice and beans, but about strategically identifying areas where you can reduce spending without, sacrificing your quality of life.
So it's like finding those little leaks in your financial boat and patching them up before they become major problems.
Exactly. And one of the first steps is to just take a close look at your spending habits. What are those recurring expenses that might be, draining your resources without providing much value?
I recently did a deep dive into my own spending, and I was shocked to discover how much I was spending on subscription services I barely used. It was like a slow and steady drip of money out of my account.
Oh, we've all been there. It's so easy to sign up for those free trials and then forget to cancel them. But once you're aware of those recurring expenses, you can start making, conscious choices.
So it's about being mindful and intentional with every dollar you spend. These sources also talk about the power of negotiation.
Yes. Don't underestimate the power of simply asking for a better deal. You'd be surprised how often companies are willing to negotiate, especially for things like, internet, insurance, or even your cell phone bill.
I used to be terrified of negotiating, but then I read this one article that gave some really practical tips. It encouraged me to approach it as a win-win situation where I'm simply trying to find a fair price that works for both parties.
That's a great approach. It takes the fear and intimidation out of the equation. And sometimes just the simple act of expressing your loyalty to a company or mentioning a competitor's offer
Yeah.
can be enough to, get them to budge.
I recently tried that with my cable company, and they actually lowered my monthly bill by $15. It was a small victory, but it felt good to know that I had saved some money.
Those small victories can add up, and they contribute to that sense of, control and confidence that we're talking about. Another spending strategy I found interesting is the idea of mindful consumption.
Mindful consumption. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
It's about being more conscious and deliberate about what you're buying, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's about shifting your mindset from a place of scarcity and impulsiveness to a place of abundance and intentionality. It's about asking yourself, do I really need this? Or is this purchase aligned with my values and goals?
I think that's such an important point. It's so easy to get caught up in, the consumer culture where we're constantly bombarded with messages telling us to buy, buy, buy. But mindful consumption is about stepping back and being more selective about what we bring into our lives.
It's about focusing on experiences and relationships rather than material possessions.
Hmm.
And when you do make a purchase, it's about choosing, quality over quantity, investing in well-made, durable items that will, last longer and bring you more joy over time.
This whole idea of mindful consumption really resonates with me. It's about being a conscious consumer, making choices that are good for your wallet, the planet, and your overall well-being. And it's interesting because this theme of being mindful and intentional extends beyond our spending habits.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, one of the most powerful sections in these sources focuses on investing in yourself. It's about recognizing that your skills, knowledge, and experiences are your most valuable assets,
Yeah,
especially in a rapidly changing economy.
I love that. It's about taking ownership of your own development and investing in your future earning potential.
Exactly. And one of the things I found really encouraging is that there are so many affordable and accessible resources available these days for anyone who wants to, learn new skills or upgrade their existing ones.
Oh, absolutely. Gone are the days of needing to go back to college or take out massive student loans to acquire new skills. We live in a world where, online learning platforms offer a wealth of knowledge and training at our fingertips.
Precisely. And many of these sources provide specific recommendations for platforms and courses that are particularly relevant to building resilience in today's economy.
Okay, spill the beans. What are some of these recommended platforms and courses?
Well, one source specifically mentions Coursera, which offers a vast catalog of courses from, top universities around the world, often at a fraction of the cost of traditional education. They highlight their specialization programs, which bundle together courses on specific, in-demand skills like data science, digital marketing, or project management.
I've heard great things about Coursera. It's like having a world-class education at your fingertips.
Yeah.
What other platforms are they recommending?
Another one that comes up repeatedly is Udemy. It's known for its more practical skills-based courses, often taught by, industry professionals.
So if you're looking for a specific skill, like how to, I don't know, code a website or create a social media marketing campaign, Udemy might be a good place to start.
Exactly. They also have courses on, more personal development topics like productivity, communication, and even mindfulness, which can be incredibly valuable for, navigating challenging times.
This whole idea of investing in yourself is so empowering. It's about taking control of your own, growth and development and not being solely reliant on a job or a company for your financial security. It's about building your own personal skill portfolio. Really.
I love that analogy, a skill portfolio.
Or-
And it's a portfolio that you can continuously diversify and invest in throughout your life. Now, speaking of portfolios, let's talk about long-term investing.
Okay, long-term investing. This is where things can get a little intimidating, especially during times of economic uncertainty. It's hard not to feel that urge to panic and sell everything when you see the market taking a dip.
I understand that feeling. But these sources are pretty clear that panic selling is rarely a good strategy. In fact, one financial advisor uses a really vivid analogy. They say that selling your investments during a downturn is like selling your umbrella in the middle of a rainstorm.
Ouch, that's a painful image. But it's a powerful reminder that we need to think long-term, not let our emotions dictate our financial decisions.
Exactly. One key concept they emphasize is the power of time in the market, not timing the market.
Okay, I've heard that phrase before, but can you break it down for me?
Yeah, so it's the idea that consistently investing over, a long period, even if you don't perfectly time the ups and downs of the market, is more likely to lead to success than trying to predict market movements and make quick trades.
So it's about staying the course, even when things get bumpy.
Exactly. One source even recommends the dollar cost averaging strategy during a downturn. This involves investing a fixed amount of money at regular intervals, regardless of the market price.
Dollar cost averaging. I'm intrigued. How does that work exactly?
Well, when the market is down, your fixed investment will buy more shares. And when the market is up, you'll buy fewer shares. Over time, this approach can, average out your purchase price and potentially reduce your overall risk.
That makes sense. So it's about taking advantage of market fluctuations rather than being, scared by them.
Exactly. And, what's interesting is that these sources don't shy away from acknowledging the fear and anxiety that often come with investing, especially during, a downturn.
Yeah, those emotions are real. It's hard not to feel stressed when you see, your portfolio taking a hit.
but they offer some great advice on how to, manage those emotions and make rational decisions.
Mm.
One tip I found particularly helpful is to focus on your long-term goals rather than getting caught up in, short-term market fluctuations.
So if you're saving for retirement, for example, remind yourself that the market is, likely to recover over time, even if it experiences some dips along the way.
Exactly. And if you're feeling, overwhelmed or unsure about your investments, they recommend seeking guidance from a financial advisor.
Hmm.
Having like an expert to talk to can help you stay grounded and make informed decisions that are aligned with your, individual circumstances and risk tolerance.
That's great advice. It's about seeking support when you need it and not trying to navigate these complex financial waters alone. As we're talking about navigating challenging times, one theme that keeps coming up in these sources is the importance of cultivating a resilient mindset.
Absolutely. Financial resilience isn't just about having the right, strategies in place. It's also about developing the mental and emotional strength to like weather the storms.
So it's about building that inner fortress, not just the external one.
Precisely. And one of the key mindset shifts they emphasize is the importance of embracing adaptability.
Makes sense. The only constant is change, especially in the, economic landscape.
Right. And the most resilient people are those who can adapt to changing circumstances, adjust their plans as needed, and even see challenges as, opportunities for growth.
It's about being flexible, like that bamboo tree that bends with the wind instead of breaking.
Exactly. And another crucial mindset shift is the importance of focusing on what you can control rather than worrying about, external factors that are beyond your influence.
I know that can be tough, especially when it feels like, the world is spinning out of control. But focusing on what you can control can be empowering, right?
Absolutely. You can't control, the stock market, the economy, or what other people do, but you can control your own like spending, saving, and investment decisions. You can control how you react to challenges and how you choose to move forward.
So it's about taking ownership of your own financial destiny, even in the midst of, external chaos. It's about having that internal locus of control rather than feeling like a victim of circumstance.
Exactly. And, one of those powerful tools for building resilience, both financial and emotional, is gratitude.
Gratitude, how does that play into financial resilience?
Well, when you're feeling, stressed or overwhelmed by financial challenges, it can be easy to get caught up in a like scarcity mindset,
Yeah.
focusing on what you lack or what you've lost. But gratitude can help shift your perspective to a place of abundance, recognizing, all the good things you still have in your life.
So even in the midst of a financial setback, you can still find things to be grateful for, like your health, your family, your community, your skills, your resilience.
Exactly. And that shift in perspective can make a world of difference in your ability to, cope with challenges and make positive choices.
It's about recognizing that you already have so much to be grateful for
No.
and that you have the inner strength to overcome whatever obstacles come your way.
And, one of the things I found really inspiring about these sources is their emphasis on the power of community and connection.
That's so important. We weren't meant to navigate these challenges alone.
Exactly. They encourage us to like reach out to our networks, our families, our friends, even our online communities for support, advice, and encouragement.
Sometimes just knowing that you're not alone in your struggles can make a huge difference.
Absolutely. And they also emphasize the importance of seeking, professional guidance when needed,
Mm.
whether it's a financial advisor, a therapist, or a career counselor. Having someone to talk to and help you navigate, complex situations can be invaluable.
It's about recognizing that it's okay to ask for help
Mm.
and that there are resources and people available who want to support you on your journey.
Well said. And, speaking of journeys, I think we've covered a lot of ground today in our exploration of financial resilience.
We have. We've talked about building a solid emergency fund, diversifying your income streams, tackling debt strategically, and embracing smart spending habits.
And we've delved into the equally important aspects of, mindset, like embracing adaptability, focusing on what you can control, investing in yourself, practicing gratitude, and seeking support when you need it.
It's been a jam-packed exploration of building that financial fortress, both internally and externally. It feels like, we've been given the blueprints to not just weather a financial storm, but to actually come out like stronger on the other side. So as we wrap up this deep dive into financial resilience, what are some, key takeaways you hope our listener will walk away with today?
Well, I think the biggest one is that financial resilience isn't, some mystical quality reserved for the wealthy or financially savvy. It's a set of skills and habits anyone can develop, just like we've been discussing.
I love that. It's about taking those, practical steps, but also cultivating the mindset that allows you to navigate uncertainty with like confidence and even a sense of optimism.
Exactly. And something that really struck me while going through these materials is that building this resilience is like an ongoing process. It's not like you reach some finish line and then you're, done.
It's like tending a garden, right?
Yeah.
You have to keep weeding, watering, and nurturing those financial habits to help them flourish.
That's a great way to put it. And it's okay to like start small,
Hmm.
even making one small change today, whether it's, automating a $5 daily savings
Yeah.
or calling your internet provider to negotiate a lower rate can set you on the right path.
Small steps, consistently applied, can lead to, big results over time. And these sources really emphasize that celebrating those small wins along the way can be incredibly motivating.
Absolutely. It reinforces those positive behaviors and helps you stay committed to building that financial shield brick by brick.
Now, I know we've covered a lot of ground today, but if there was like one overarching message you could leave our listener with, what would it be?
I think it would be this. You have more power than you realize to shape your financial future. It's not about being fearless. It's about being, informed, prepared, and adaptable. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. There are resources and people available to like support you every step of the way.
So well said. This deep dive has been a reminder that while the economy might have its ups and downs, true financial resilience comes from within. It's about having that unshakable belief in your ability to not only survive, but thrive no matter what challenges come your way.
And on that note, I think it's time to bring this deep dive to a close.
I agree. We've given our listener a lot to think about and hopefully a lot to act on. So to you listening, we'd love to hear your thoughts. What resonated with you the most? What's one small step you can take today to strengthen your financial shield?
You can email us at info@themutillion.com. We read every message and love hearing how these deep dives are helping you.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep building that financial fortress.